Hi friends, this is Peter Bain, co-founder of ForexMentor.com. Thank you very much for taking the time to be with us today. We do appreciate your time and don't take it for granted. I'd like to start off by saying hello to Phil LaMarche, who just commented in the question box. He says, hello Peter, it's been a pleasure to follow you since 2004. I'm originally from Vancouver myself. I do remember you, Phil. Thank you very much for making that comment. It's made my day. Now, we're here to talk about a system that was put together by Lennox Chambers. We're going to get into that in a minute. And we started off with Lennox's system, using his system and his calculator. And of course, since that time, we have embellished it and we've made it a lot simpler to use. We're going to get into that today. We've gotten to the point where George has actually done some programming to show you how to use the calculator automatically on the screen. But we're going to get into that. The system is certainly a lot simpler than we originally started. The usual disclaimer to keep the legal beagles happy, please pay attention to the salient points under noted in red, and we'd appreciate that. Now, don't click away too soon, because at the very end of this special presentation, we're going to talk to you about how you can take advantage of what we're talking about in this presentation. So please stick with us to the end. You don't want to miss what's coming up. Now, here are the team members behind the system that we're here to talk about today. Of course, myself in the middle. On the right is George Pitcher, who's been a long-standing Forex Mentor member since 2008. He's a great trader, as Lennox is. He's also a programmer who's done all the programming behind what we're going to be talking about today. He's a coach and mentor at ForexMentor.com, hangs out in the trading lounge quite often. Now, the star attraction is Lennox Chambers over to the left. He's the creator of the simple 123 system that we're going to talk about today. He's also the programmer behind the wave calculator that comes with the system. I use his system and his calculator for all my stock and Forex trading. So does George. I would take a team of wild mules to try and pull that calculator away from me. I just wouldn't trade without it. It's the thing that really caught my attention when I first met Lennox. So let's just find out how this all came to be. I met Lennox last year at a seminar, and what I like to do with seminars is I like to move around the room from table to table just to meet different people. And I ended up towards the end of the seminar sitting at the same table as Lennox, because he seemed to be one of the sparks at the meeting. He seemed to be one of those people who raises a hand and says something. So ended up talking to Lennox to find out that he was trading options. I mentioned that I was trading the Forex, and I indicated the profit potential. He seemed quite intrigued, invited me over to his place. I went over and showed him the ropes, showed him everything I knew except a few things. And I let it go at that. I figured, well, that's that. I've done my job. I don't know where this is going from here. I unfortunately didn't talk to him about risk management or lot size or standard lots or micros or minis. We just didn't have time to cover all of that. Lo and behold, within a reasonable period of time, Lennox got a hold of me and he said, listen, I followed through. I opened up a live account at a broker, which I don't particularly like, but that was another thing we hadn't covered, which was which broker to use. He used a broker which he picked out of the thin air, and it worked for him. He was trading a live account starting with $5,000. He ramped that up to $30,000 in a very short period of time, as a matter of fact, a month, at which point I contacted my business partner, Vic Young, and I said, look, you've got to get over here and have a look at Lennox and his system and his calculator, because there's just something going on here. And I must indicate to you that Vic and I get things thrown at us all the time. Systems, tips, techniques, strategies come to us all the time, most of which really don't pass muster, but this time is different. So I just want to show you the results that Lennox has been achieving with his system, and you can see the results on the screen. These have been achieved with 10 standard lots. The time frame here is from August 30th of last year, the Aussie dollar, all the way up to recently June the 3rd, dollar Mexican. You can see the result of that trade. Lots of green ink, not very much red ink. He trades 10 standard lots at a time. Of course, you can do that too, but we recommend that perhaps you start with micros, minis, whatever, work your way up to standard lots. These are real results, not contrived. When my business partner finally came over to have a look at Lennox and his system and his calculator, he was equally impressed with what he saw, and we threw out a challenge to Lennox. We suggested that we all kick in some seed money to the tune of about $15,000. It ended up being 15 and change in the Dukas Copy account. That's where I trade as well. And we suggested that Lennox try to double that just to see what he could do. So within a very short period of time, that was actually towards the end of 2017, within a very short period of time, early January of 2018, 1 month later, he had ramped that $15,000 and change up to almost $28,000, which was quite stunning. We were, needless to say, very impressed with that performance. So at that point, Lennox gave us our $5,000 back each, and that left Lennox with $13,000. We then suggested that Lennox trade that up to a reasonable amount so that we could start a hedge fund in September of this year. That's just a couple months away. Lennox is doing that. He is now at well over $18,000. He doesn't want to tell us what the amount is. He wants to keep it a surprise, but we did test him yesterday. We said, well, are we going to be ready with sufficient funds to start the hedge fund in September? And he assured us that that wouldn't be a problem. So impressive results, not only doubling the $15,000, but also then going beyond that, giving us our money back and ramping the account up to $18,000 and beyond. So let's just have a look at some recent these are real trade results. These aren't examples. These are real trade results using Lennox's 123 system. And you can see 123 bottom here. You can see the price projections automatically painted on the screen. In the course, we talk about how you can use MACD to confirm a trade. We show you how you can use two moving averages to indicate where to enter a trade. This particular trade netted Lennox 11,000 and change. The trade took place May 16th, consummated on May 22nd. In the course, we show you exactly what pattern to look for. We show you where to enter a trade and where to exit a trade. That's all part of the package offering. That's example number one. Example number two brought in $2,000 and change, and this was as a result of a number of trades, the multiple trades here, May 17th, May 18th of this year, consummated on May 18th, very short order. An example of how his system works. He looks for a particular pattern, a 1-2-3 pattern, and in the course we show you where to enter the trade, where to exit the trade, what to look for in profit potential, how to deal with average true range, risk management, and so on. This is the last example, and we wanted to show you a trade going in reverse. This is a 1-2-3 top, and you can see over here we had a topping out pattern in this pair. This is the Swissy yen again. This is the 4-hour chart. We had a topping out pattern, the death cross of the two moving averages, followed by a legitimate 1-2-3 top here. 1, 2, 3. The exit point was right here, the red line. Of course, the new wave calculator that we have that George has programmed automatically paints the 1-2-3 for you. It all automatically paints the exit points here, so you don't have to use any imagination to try and figure out where to get into the trade, where to get out of the trade. This is all done automatically for you with the new wave calculator, which is just the programming that George has put into this is just incredible. This trade on the Swissy yen took place on May the 1st of this year, consummating on May the 3rd. Again, this is a real trade, not contrived, netting Lennox on the Swiss yen 4-hour chart, $6,864. There's the 123 top that he nailed. Entry point after the number 3 point, exit point at the red line. Of course, this is all described in the course that we're going to show you a little bit later on. All right, now we have been suggesting to Lennox for quite some time. I mean, we're so impressed with his results that we have been encouraging Lennox to publicize his results in the form of the MyFX book offering, which anybody can have a look at just to verify Lennox's performance, to show that this is real stuff. And this is quite incredible. This is the recent print-off from MyFX book showing Lennox's results for the month of May, the month that just passed. Starting May 16th, you can see a nice uptrend with his results all the way up to May 29th of last month. He started off with $5,000, and in short order during the month of May, he ramped that up to $9,000 for a profit of a little over $4,000. The gain, 80% in 1 month. That's just absolutely phenomenal. Again, if you're interested in the link for MyFX book, we can get that to you at some point. That's no problem. So now I'm going to turn the microphone over to George Pitcher and let him talk about the S123 system and how much more powerful it is at the present time.
Thank you, Peter. Yes, it's really amazing. In just a few short months, we've taken it from a completely manual system to an automated system to make it easier to use and allow you to spend more time on evaluating the charts and not having to spend a lot of time playing with the numbers. To put them on the chart automatically for you now. We've been constantly improving the system, and as you will see, it's no longer manual, and you get some. It is just a beauty to use it at this point. The three of us use it all the time. We wouldn't be without it. Here's an example of the history of it. First, it started off as a standalone wave calculator. We added manual email alerts. Then we introduced the MT4 wave calculator, which you can put it on the chart yourself. And that was a big help. It calculates risk reward for you, so you know how you stand on the situation. Then in December, we introduced email alerts. And in January, we came along and Lennox created a playbook at the beginning of the week, so we would have pairs to look at that would be unfolding in the current week. And then in February, we added the trading lounge, and this has proved to be one huge advantage. There's a lot of people in there that are helping each other, and there's many good traders in there making hundreds and hundreds of pips a day. It's really amazing. And they're now helping each other, going over trades, trying with the team, as a team effort, trying to find the best trades to work on, and then comparing their results, etc., and keeping on top of it. It is really a jewel to see. And it's a big help, because if you have questions, they answer it. The other big advantage of the system is that we've been working towards longer time frames to take the stress out of trading like a scalper, which is very, very difficult with a high stress rate, etc. And now with the automatic wave calculator, etc., it's easier reviewing the trades, finding the better ones, spending more time just analyzing the charts a lot quicker, with a lot less stress, and making some good pips. And we've also we introduced a currency strength indicator, which helps you find the strongest and weakest currencies. And this is available to members also to use. And now finally we're introducing this month the Auto 123 Wave Calculator, which you saw on a couple of the charts that Peter showed. And you'll see them, Lennox talk about it later. This system has just become so powerful now. The system hasn't changed in concept. The concept is still the simple 1, 2, 3 method. It's just that we've made it so that it can be implemented far easier and get far better accuracy out of it. Okay, now the new tool, Lennox is going to talk about the new tool. At this point, I'd like to turn it over to Lennox and explain how his new auto wave calculator has been one of his dreams come true. Lennox, take over, please.
Okay, thanks, George. Thanks, Peter. Hi, everyone. Okay, just a quick little story about how I started in this world of trading and to where I am today. Basically, in the early 90s, I was working for the government, and a wife and 4 kids, an ex-wife, the whole bit, and paying child support and so forth, and I needed to make some extra money, and so I was looking for a way to make some extra money so I could just pay my child support. Basically, that was my intention, my goal. Just if I could just make enough to pay my child support. So, anyways, to make a long story short, I decided to investigate the world of stock market. Didn't know anything about it, so I went to the library every day and got books and started reading up on trading. And noticed that people were just losing all the time. It seems like everybody was losing, and there was only 5% of people winning. And I wanted to know why that was, and I wanted to be one of the ones that was winning. So I started to study I went to the library practically every week, and I would take 3, 4 books home and read. And I came up on 2 books, and one of the books was the Elliott Wave Theory, and another book was by a Russian guy on options trading. Those 2 books were like the foundation for me. There were of course other books, really great traders, Bill Williams and another commodities guru, and so on. But those 2 books, especially the Elliott Wave Theory, really helped me. So I'm a programmer. I was working for the government doing in IT as a systems analyst, and so after reading the Elliott Wave book, and anyone who's looked at that, it's just deep stuff and lots of math, and I love math. So I decided that after reading it all, that I wanted to really see if this would work. And so I opened an account. I started trading the futures, and at that time there was no internet or anything like that. So I had to call the broker to tell them, okay, I want to get into this trade at this price and blah, blah, blah. That wasn't working too well. Wasn't doing very well with that. And so eventually started trading through the bank. I think it was the bank at the time. And, of course, using the modem, if anybody knows about modems. And that was brutal as well because it takes forever, and, the market doesn't wait around. Oh, Lennox is trading. Let's wait for him to make his trade. It doesn't work that way. So I slowly started to hone the skills and get into this a little bit more and more. By 1998, which was 1997, 98, I started to really understand what was going on. I started trading the options, and I wanted to figure a way how I could calculate where the market was going to move to in price before it actually did. And, I'm talking to some of my fellow programmers, and they're like, nah, that's not possible. And I'm looking at the Elliott Wave book and said, yes, it is. I'm going to have to do it. So anyways, I worked out this algorithm, and it was through Fibonacci and Euclid. The great mathematician Euclid had this excellent algorithm, combined them all together, and they came up with this program called the Wave Calculator. And what it did was I would enter 2 points into the calculator, and it would then give me the projected targets for a particular stock. And I tested it, and this thing was working. And I was just like flabbergasted. It was actually working. And I'm showing people, and they're like, no, you can't predict where stock is going to go. It's not possible. No, yeah, it is, and I was doing it. So not many people would believe me anyway, so I just kept doing it myself, and I was making way more than my child support each month after honing this, making this thing work. Wrote it in Visual Basic originally, so it was a Windows application. I had a dream. I wanted to be able to actually apply it right to the chart. I wanted to put it on the chart so that I'd be able to just look at the chart and then just click a button and then boom, it would appear and give me the targets and so forth. But that technology was unavailable at the time. We couldn't do that with the charts. So it is now 2018, and I met Peter and George and Vic last spring. So it's almost exactly a year ago. And here we are in 2018, a year later, and the dream has come true. George has programmed this thing into MT4, and it actually works. And we've been testing this now for about a month or so, and it just works beautifully, and can't wait to show it to you, and just very excited about it. Really excited about it. It's just great. Okay, so again, it's an MT4 indicator. It automatically identifies the 1, 2, 3. So the pattern, it's on any time frame, any chart. Doesn't matter if it's commodities, stocks, Forex, binary, whatever. It'll do that for you. Of course, this particular auto calculator is just for the MT4 platform as a start, anyways. That's just the thing I wanted to show, was that it gives you those targets. So this is an example of what George's program. So as the chart is unfolding, it is actually picking up the 1, 2, 3s. As you can see from previous, it's picking up all the 1, 2, 3s. And then as it gets to the most current, it picks up the latest 1, 2, 3, and it automatically prints the targets for you. So it is doing what we were doing manually before. We were manually clicking number 1, number 2, number 3, and then it would spit out the targets for us. But now the program automatically, as you go to your chart, you go from time frame to time frame, it automatically prints out the targets for you as it spots the 1, 2, 3s. So you can use this in conjunction with the alerts, and that will give you nice setups on any time frame, on any chart, on the MT4 platform. It's just fabulous. And we've color coded it so that we always recommend that you go to the middle target. In this case, it would be the gold band area. And if you want to continue in the trend, we show you how to do that, and you can go to the blue or to the next green or to the next gold, depending on your tolerance, your risk tolerance, and so forth. So it's just wonderful, like I say. Another example is this is the 1, 2, 3 bottom, and again, it prints out the 1, 2, 3 for you, puts the targets onto the chart, and away you go. And this is on the 1 hour time frame, and again, any time frame. It just follows the 1, 2, 3 pattern and spits out the targets for you, and it actually does work, and it's beautiful. So let me give you a live demonstration of how this actually looks on a chart. Okay, so I'm live. Everybody can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Here's a chart of the USD Japanese yen. We're at this point here. It's given us automatically the 1, 2, 3 on the daily, and giving us the targets to this location here on the chart. Again, it's just following the system. This is just wonderful. So you can go to any time frame, like I say. So if I went to the 4 hour time frame, it would be similar. It would pick out a 1, 2, 3 for you. That's, again, it's picking out the most current. It picks up previous ones. Of course, there's one up here, 1, 2, 3 here, but this is where the chart is right now, so it's going to do the most current 1, 2, 3 bottom or a top. That meets the criteria for what we're looking at. So again, any chart, it doesn't matter which chart I choose, it'll do the same thing. So I'll go to a 4 hour on this one. I'll make it a little bigger so you can see. So again, it picks out a 1, 2, 3 bottom and puts the targets in for you, and you can then go to the recommended target, or you can go higher, depending on, again, on your risk tolerance and so on. I just show you that previously. Okay, let me just go to another one. Aussie US, for instance. Okay, here's another. Again, it picks out the 1, 2, 3 bottom, and there you go. So what we had to do previously, and let me just show you So I'll just switch time frames here and come back. So now it's gone. We had to manually put the 1, 2, 3 on ourselves. So this is the wave calculator button that we had before. So you would click the wave calculator and you would look for the 1, 2, 3. And okay, so we'll use 1 and do a 2 and we'll do a 3. So that would be a 1, 2, 3 that we'd see, and we'd put the calculator on and would give us the targets up to these levels. So that was great. Works really nicely, and we'll still have that. We'll still have both. You have the automatic one and the manual one. So I'll clear that. And if I want to bring the other one back, I just have to press the A key, and it automatically appears again. So it's really nicely programmed for you so that it picks out the 1, 2, 3. So it's picking up the most current 1, 2, 3, which is that one, and that's fine. Either one would work. It doesn't really matter in this case. And again, using the criteria that we programmed into it to effectively give us a really nice setup for a trade. And if you follow the rules and guidelines, you'll have success. A lot of the members in the lounge are having really good success using the 1, 2, 3 system. It's great. Really, really wonderful to see in the lounge how well everyone's doing. Okay, Peter.
Okay, thank you, Lennox, for an excellent presentation as usual. Now, I want to make a note here. The automatic wave calculator that we've been talking about, that Lennox showed you, where the 1, 2, 3 points are painted and the price projections are shown in the colors, that is going to be made available to anybody who takes advantage of, taking advantage of the offer will be able to use that up to June 30th and beyond. You'll be grandfathered in after June 30th, so please keep that in mind as we get towards the end of this presentation. Now, I'd like George to just go through some of the benefits of being an S123 member. Take it away, George.
Thank you, Peter. As I said, there's a lot to the help you develop your 1, 2, 3 method in your own trading. We have a complete video course. We have many real trade recap videos. We talked about the wave calculator we have available. There's a standalone one that you can use in virtually any market. Whatever you can think of, it'll work. The playbook is a new introduction that we have, and this has been quite successful because it gives you a head start on the week's worth of trading, where Lennox scans the pairs using the wave calculator to come up with the better pairs to take a look at. We have training webinars once a week with Lennox himself. Trade alerts, and as we've mentioned, the newer trade alerts that we're going to come out with will have a chart associated with it. So whenever the trade alert happens, a picture of that chart is automatically taken and it's emailed, the linkage to you in your email. Now, the Skype chat room, I can't say enough good things about it. It's been a fantastic place. People in there are really working with one another and helping each other out, and they're coming up with their own challenges to find the best trades that will last for weeks or even months. And it's sort of a challenge to see who can gain the most pips out of this thing. But they're sharing their ideas and talking about as time passes. So it's really been quite rewarding. And people have learned how to get off of their scalping routines and getting into stress-free trades just using the simple 1, 2, 3 method. And now that it's automated, it's become even better to use. Finally, we have some member testimonials that have come up. Here's an example of the testimonials that we get. These come in all the time. Camaraderie that goes on is really quite beneficial, and they share their charts and ideas, etc. And phenomenal way of learning quickly the 1, 2, 3 method, and now with the tools that make it a lot easier. Now, Now I'd like to turn the mic back over to Peter so he can tell you more about the system.
Okay, thanks, George, and thanks, Lennox, for great presentations. And now it becomes a question of how can you participate in this rare opportunity to work with somebody like Lennox, who is perhaps one of the best Forex traders that I have come across. You've seen his results. We don't have to sell that anymore. And so we want to get you into the system. We want you to get using this system, and we want you to work with Lennox to achieve profitable results in the Forex. This is a limited time offer which ends in 48 hours. Of course, the best option is in the middle of your screen. A 6-month prepay option, $497 for 6 months. That's 28% off of the original price. Now, the link is at the bottom of your screen. When I go to the next slide, we're going to make another incredible offer for the first 7 people joining up. Now, when you join up today, you're going to get all the bells and whistles and toys that we've talked about today that go with the wave calculator and the system, the 123 system, including the automatic painting of the 123 numbers and the price projections that you saw earlier on. That all comes with the offer today, and so please keep that in mind. Let's just turn to the next slide. The first 7 people signing up today are going to be able to participate in a live Skype session with Lennox and the S123 team during live market hours. You're going to be able to see how Lennox thinks when he's looking at market action, what he looks for, how he trades 123s, how he trades the exits, how he deals with risk management, and so on and so forth. So this offer is for the first 7 people signing up right now. There's the link at the bottom of your screen. Now, just a reminder, these are not fudged results. These are Lennox's results spanning the time frame from August 30th of last year. This is the Aussie dollar down here, all the way up to June 3rd. This is the month that we're in now. This is the dollar Mexican. 1 hour chart, long trade. Lots of green ink in here, very little red ink. Yes, Lennox does lose from time to time, but not very often. Now, if you're looking for a really complicated trading system, I hate to disappoint you, that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a very simple 123 system. You've seen examples throughout this presentation. The automatic wave calculator that automatically paints the 123 points and the price projections on the screen. That is poetry in motion. I mean, where else are you going to find this incredible opportunity? I don't know of anywhere you can go where you can see the system actually identify where to get into a trade and where to get out of a trade. I've jabbered on long enough. George, are there questions that we need to deal with at this point?
Somebody's asked, what session does Lennox trade?
All sessions.
All sessions.
Doesn't matter. I mean, I don't really get to trade the London session primarily because I'm on the West Coast in the Pacific time zone, so it's midnight when London opens. But I kind of stay up till 1 o'clock or so to catch it. But I like to get up early. Also to catch the stock market open and so on, and the London close, and New York, I guess, as well. But what I try to do in the daytime is to find some setups and then enter when things are quiet, as long as, of course, spreads are reasonable, and get into a trade and just let it be until the evening when everybody else jumps in, and you can just go for a ride. And that's basically how the system works. You try to get into the trades before everybody else piles in, and then you just watch as it takes you to your target. And that's basically the system in a nutshell.
There was a question that came in, when is the wave calculator available for members? It should be fairly shortly. We're just putting together, and we have to complete the documentation, etc. And so it should be available within a few days. We have been testing it, so it's not a question of testing it anymore. We're ready to release it. It's just getting the final steps put together. A couple more questions. Thank you, Peter. Does the wave calculator plot MACD and EMAs too? Yes, the wave calculator automatically plots all the EMAs that we use, and MACD is you choose your own MACD for putting on the system, where we tell you the parameters to use. What happens if you have a limited time to trade? Well, I feel that the wave calculator is one of the best advantages for that, James. I use it strictly for that reason, because I don't like to stare at the charts all the time. I do a lot of programming, and that's enough staring at the computers. So I like the longer term trades, and that's the true advantage of using the 123 system. It gives you an opportunity to see the bigger picture and take advantage of it. And it's especially good, for you can actually just trade by looking at your charts once a day. So it's especially good for that. System has transformed my trading in ways that you wouldn't believe. I've been trading for 21 years and have used a variety of different trading methods, and this trading method is the simplest and easiest to use and understand. Thanks, guys, for everything, and continued profitable trading. Thank you very much, Brian.
Wow, thanks.
That's a testimonial that came in.
How much did we pay him? Thanks, Brian.
Thank you, James Anderson, for signing up.
Yes,
Yes,
Tony,
it's only on MT4 at the time being,
MT4.
yes. Linux is now going live with charts.
Okay, so I just wanted to show everybody, this is what, if you don't have MT4, then you would be using the wave calculator that's on the website in the members area, and this is basically how this works. You would click the bull or the bear depending on which direction the market's going, and enter your start and end point. There's just two inputs, and you click calculate, and it automatically does the rest for you. So it's basically like that. You'd enter your two numbers of the points that you've you want to put in, and then it would automatically put in the targets for you. And so those would be your targets for the first set of targets, and then your second set of targets, basically, and your retracements of those points. So that's how that works. Real quickly.
If I can interrupt, Cameron has given us a testimonial. He says the CSI, which is the currency strength indicator, is the best with the system 123. Thank you, Cameron.
Okay, this is a CSI, our CSI currency strength pairs, and it gives us the 4 pairs on each time frame. So I'm on the daily right now, and that gives us the 4 that are the strongest versus the weakest. So right now it's telling us on the daily that USD, Swiss, Euro USD, Aussie, Swiss, and Euro Aussie are the 4 to look at. And then you can go to the 4-hour time frame. It switches over and tells you which 4 on the 4-hour and the 1-hour, and on any other time frame that you want, actually. So, but we mainly look at the 1-hour, 4-hour, and daily. So that's basically how that works. And yeah, I'm currently I'm actually in a position. I just started a position in the Euro USD. I just went in with one lot to start while you guys were chatting away there and so on. So I'm going to hopefully add to this as the evening progresses, and see if I can get this up to 5 or higher before we get to. This is I'm setting my target to almost to the green zone here. This is a previous resistance area, so I'm looking to exit up in this area, and this looks like a very strong setup. And I'm hoping to just keep adding to it, and then maybe I can even get up to these areas here because it looks very strong. So this is on the 4-hour time frame. On the daily, this is what it's looking like. So we've come down to previous support area here, and the chart's all marked up. I've got fractals on. Of course, members know all about the fractals. It's just we just use them for staying in a position longer. I can take them off, and if I wanted to, and so forth. So that's not a problem there. And I've got three indicators, three EMAs. We basically use two. The third one is the 55 EMA. We only use the 21 and 5. But the 55 is sort of like gives us a guide as to where we are on the chart. And yeah, so this is a nice setup on the Euro US. Still, opportunity to. We've just left the station, as I always say, with this trade. So opportunity. I mean, I jumped in here at this point, so we're just coming above the number 2 point, and so it's a nice trade going forward. Yeah, the wave calculator has automatically been painted for me, and I've actually painted my own 1, 2. So it painted this 1, 2, 3 here, but I've actually, let me go a little bigger bit. It painted this original 1, 2, 3, but I went and overrode it and put my own the manual 1, 2, 3 on to get my targets, because this one was a little shorter, and this one was more the whole thing. So
that's a good point, Lennox. You have the members will have advantage of both the manual and the automatic wave calculator, and you can use both of them as Lennox has done right here. So,
yes. For in this example, say you decided that we've seen this movement and we wanted just to do this 1, 2, 3. You could then put the manual one on at this point and do this 1, 2, 3 here to a quicker or an earlier target, or a nearer target, as it were. So yeah, I mean, you could do that, something like that. So you have the advantage of using both. And if you want it, you can clear it, and you can put the original one back, the automatic one back on. So
the other thing is that with the manual wave calculator, we talked about a single line that you use as a target. With the new automatic wave calculator, we give you a zone to work in. And
so
as you all know, that you can't pinpoint always an accurate place to get out of a trade, because the market does what the market wants to do. But there's usually a zone that's important, and the zone is often related to prior support resistance areas, etc. So, which you can see right there, as Lennox is pointing out. So the zone becomes an important area to look at. Have we thought about creating a scanner? Well, in a sense, James, the currency strength indicator, which we call the CSI, is kind of a scanner, because it does attempt to show you the stronger currencies and pair them with the weaker ones. So in that sense, you are getting a scanner. As a matter of fact, we have created an alert system with the CSI that gives you alerts on the 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily time frames, and it'll come to your email, and it's denoted by a CSI on there where the alert came from. So in a sense, that is doing the scanning for you and giving you an email.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you do get to help us. There was a question about how we identify the pairs. Well, with the CSI, the strength, we got 16 pairs, and then also with 16 or less pairs, and then with the alerts, you get an alert on the hour, practically, of a pair that's trending and have the criteria that we're looking for, a 1, 2, 3 bottom or a 1, 2, 3 top, that you can trade.
What time frame is the best to use, says David Aruda. Lennox, do you want to talk to that one?
Well, we recommend the 1 hour or higher time frame.
Okay.
But Lennox has shown that it even works on 5-minute charts, so you know it's up
Yeah,
to you.
work on any time frame, but we recommend that you go with the hourly or 4-hour or daily, just for sanity's sake more than anything else.
Again, if you haven't signed up, please do so, because you're going to, after this session, you're going to have more questions. And by joining up, you'll be able to ask as many questions as you want whenever. And we're here to make sure that you are successful with this system. It looks like I'm paid up. I was just curious. Okay, great. I think we're done. I think we can close it off now, unless you guys disagree.
No, it's okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Peter.
Okay, thank you
Thanks,
to our participants for joining us today. We do appreciate your time, and we look forward to working with you in the lounge. Don't forget that part of this system is the trading lounge, where you can hang out with the team members and also other members. So please keep that in mind as you're thinking about signing up. On that note, thanks for being with us today, and we look forward to being with you again in the near future. Have yourself a great day, and bye for now.
Good trading, everyone.